빨리 시험 좀.
When you think of South Korea, you think of K-pop, K-drama, high-tech Samsung, and it's very polite people. But are you ready to hear the uncomfortable truth? Because sadly, many South Koreans are suffering in silence. And there is an ugly side to South Korea's beauty.
Now this beautiful young woman has had a full facelift, an open forehead lift, her eyelids done. Looks like she can't even close her eyes.
A depressing side to South Korea's miracle rise as a country, and even a deadly side to their culture of respect.
Military type of culture where you have to always say yes to the boss.
Naifam, together let's uncover the dark side of South Korea. And by the end of this video, you will also learn what to avoid if you want to be happy in life. I mean, just look at these pictures. This was South Korea in the 50s. The country was so devastated by Korean War that about 7 out of 10 South Koreans lived in total poverty. But then a miracle happened. From being one of the poorest countries, South Korea was pressured to heavily invest in putting their kids to school, making their people work incredibly hard, betting on big businesses to help them. And it all paid off because in the span of just one generation, South Korea already became the 14th largest economy in the world. It was this pressure to rise from the ashes that pushed them to greatness. But as you'll realize soon, it is also this exact pressure to keep this achievement they worked so hard for that could also slowly break them. Number one, the pressure to be successful.
What kind of family sends their kid away to train to become a K-pop star at 5? For every 5 that you know, there's 5,000 that ended up being nothing.
Number two, the pressure to fit in. And number three, the pressure to look good. Yes, the pressure for South Koreans to look physically attractive is so strong that it's normal for young people to get plastic surgery as a graduation gift from their own parents.
Since I had my eyes done, I've been tempted to try more plastic surgeries. I want more and more.
Or for employees to casually get cosmetic surgery during their lunch break.
I have my eye, double eyelid, nose job, fat removed on my cheek, jaw, reduction, my chin, and face lifting. Neck lifting.
Because in South Korea, changing your looks to get an eye fold, a V-line face, nose bridge, or plumber lips is actually considered just part of self-improvement. And sadly, how they look quite often affects their success in life.
Their appearance looks like angry when they do not smile. Many Asian people believe that the first impression is very important.
That's why when you apply for whatever job here, they will require you to include headshots. In fact, South Koreans do so many cosmetic surgeries that around 1 out of 4 surgeries done in the world happens in South Korea. You can only imagine how much bullying comes from this societal pressure to fit in and look high status. And unfortunately, this extends to how they see people from other countries too.
In South Korea, they discriminate literally all the people come from poor countries. That includes, I'm so sorry, India, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, and North Korea.
They say there is no job, even though there was a job.
Now, you might be thinking, since South Korea was also a poor country in the past, that would mean they are more empathetic.
Why? He found out what country we were from and he found out that she was Malaysian. Same thing, completely refused to speak to her.
But repeating what we said about the pressure to succeed, since South Korea indeed turned around its destiny by working so hard to revive their country, it is quite possible that this gave them a strong sense of national pride.
Where Korea has survived invasions and occupations for centuries and still managed to keep their language and ethnic identity. They are worried that, they will lose all of that if they start accepting foreigners into the country.
As well as an unfair belief that a country is only poor simply because its people are not working hard enough.
I still think that Korean people are more upper than the Indonesian people in many things, GDP, economy, everything.
But Nightfam, what if working too hard for your success becomes the very thing that breaks you? That is the depressing reality of many young South Korean students who study up to 14 hours a day because of too much pressure from their parents.
On the weekend, I'll have to wake up even earlier and study harder. The same day after day repeating is so exhausting.
Sadly, South Korean education is so competitive, private academies called hagwons sometimes push parents to spend thousands of dollars just to make sure their kids get an extra edge at school and eventually pass what they call the make or break college admission test.
What if I don't do well on the test? Will I be a failure?
And when you're a young kid who happens to be not good looking enough for their beauty standards, not smart enough to top your class, or not rich enough to keep up with your friends, there's a high chance you will get so depressed or bullied so much you would just choose to end it all.
Tens of thousands of South Koreans have taken part in their very own living funerals.
It's quite difficult, but the statistics don't lie. A recent study revealed that around 30% of students in a year experience some sort of school violence. One person takes their own life every 39 minutes in South Korea.
Sully, she was found in her home in Seoul. She was just 25.
Again, what if working too hard for your success becomes the thing that breaks you?
Korea in general as a country is known to have a culture of showing off and going off by what they see from the outside. This is why they're so obsessed with physical looks and classism.
Now let's complete this depressing South Korean puzzle with the last piece, the pressure to fit in.
I can't get enough sleep as I need to take care of my work, relationship, and personal life.
Say you were lucky enough to survive your school days and you would actually get a job despite the high youth unemployment right now in South Korea. You still face yet another issue, hierarchy.
If the new guy asked for the holiday more than like 5 days, like the other people think like he's crazy.
Many South Koreans are apparently so concerned about looking cooperative in the workplace, it leads them to overwork themselves to death, also known as varosa.
He's trying to finish his lunch as fast as he can because he has to go back to the depot to pick up more packages for the afternoon.
And then drink so much alcohol with their superiors. Again, because of the pressure to fit in, no matter what.
Bosses may ask their employees to join them for dinner and drinks. Saying no isn't really an option.
All these pressures from the South Korean society, from the high cost of educating children in a highly competitive environment, to funding this expensive lifestyle of looking as successful as possible, to high unemployment, long working hours, and after office hours drowning in alcohol, down to mental health problems still being considered a taboo in their culture.
Hey, how are you doing? I've never actually had a conversation like that with my Korean friends.
All these are likely why South Koreans now feel like they gotta choose between their sanity or their success. And now South Korea has this unique problem where it has both. One of the lowest birth rates ever and one of the fastest aging populations in the world.
There's a daycare center nearby my house, and there were a lot of kids there, but now most of them are at age 7.
I send my love to the South Korean people. Having to deal with all these pressures in their lifetime, I really hope it gets better for the younger generation. And of course, it goes without saying that the negatives said in this video. But now that you know this difficult side to South Korea, I hope it teaches you something important.